Countdown.
In 5, 4, 3,
2, 1. Talk to the doctor. Your favorite vet.
Okay, it's live.
We're live. All right, Dr.
Good
Williams.
morning, everyone,
morning.
and welcome to the annual meeting of the Alabama A&M Board of Trustees. We are meeting virtually since we cannot safely gather in person. We begin this meeting with the invocation presented by Trustee Hackett. Trustee Hackett, would you please?
It's be honored. Oh, gracious Father, Father of Almighty, we have assembled once again to say thank you. Thank you for your blessings and thank you for your guidance. Now, Father, as we go through the work for Alabama A&M University, we pray that as we go through this meeting, that you will speak to us, speak through us, and speak for us. In your name we pray. Let all God's children say amen.
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 Thank you, Trustee Hackett. Trustee Robinson, roll call, please.
Yes, sir. President Pro Tem Williams.
Here.
Robinson is here. Trustee Harper.
Here.
Trustee Ball. Trustee Ball. Trustee Hackett.
Here.
Trustee Pickett.
Here.
Trustee Johnson Cole.
Here.
Trustee Crunkleton.
Here.
Trustee Gainey.
Present.
Trustee Watts. Trustee Watts.
Present.
Trustee Frank Williams.
Here.
Okay. Trustee Jeanette Jones.
Here.
And Trustee Jaffe Jelks. Probably will join us later. We have a quorum, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Can we get approval of the minutes and recommendation of the subcommittee meeting held on June 25th? Can we get a motion to approve those minutes?
Mr. Chair, the adoption of the agenda first, please, sir.
Yeah, adoption agenda.
Oh, my apologies. We had the agenda before us. Can we get approval of the agenda?
I move
So
that we approve
moved.
the agenda is printed.
Second.
A second.
Do you have that, those individuals for the record? Those names for the record? It's been moved and properly second that we adopt the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda is adopted. Now approval of the minutes and recommendation of the subcommittee meeting held in June, on June 25th. Can we
So
get approval?
moved. So moved, Trustee Harper.
Second, Robinson.
It's been moved and properly second that we approve the minutes and recommendation of the subcommittee meeting held on June 25th. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? The minutes are approved and adopted. Approval of minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting held on June 26th. Can we get a motion, please?
Move to approve. Robinson.
Hackett, second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Report of the executive committee meeting held on September 9th. On that meeting, for the record, Attorney Stakely and Attorney Deborah, would you give us a quick overview of that, please? It's okay.
Yes, Mr. President Pro Tem, the meeting was held on September 9, as is shown in the report. The report itself was timely filed later that day and has been published to the board. There were briefly two actions that were taken, both of which were required action within a discrete time frame. The first of which was a proposal under the CARES Act with respect to certain loans of the university, that various principal and interest payments due during certain specific periods would be deferred as permitted by amendments to that CARES Act. The executive committee approved that deferment and the action was taken. Second action taken by the executive committee was in conformance with a requirement of the Alabama legislature and an act passed that requires each public college and university in the state to adopt what is characterized as a free speech policy, policies that have been in effect in practice at the university for many, many years, but a formal policy was drafted. It was presented to the executive committee by Attorney Debro, and that policy was adopted in conformance with the Alabama law, and appropriate reports that will ultimately need to be made pursuant to that act will be undertaken. And that summarizes the action taken, Mr. President Pro Tem.
Thank you, Attorney Stakely. Before we move on that motion, does any, well, can I get a motion to approve the report of the executive committee?
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Dr. Williams. Dr.
Yes.
Williams.
yes.
The bylaws only provide that there be a report. There is no action needed on the part of the Board of Trustees.
Thank you, sir.
That's correct. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda, election of officers. Attorney Stakely, would you conduct this exercise, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. As I believe all members of the board are aware, and I do know we have members, so I can briefly summarize the process. The bylaws of the board provide for an election of officers to the board on an annual basis at the October meeting each year. The positions for election this year include three positions. The first is the President Pro Tem of the board. The second is the Vice President Pro Tem, a position that was added on June 26 by amendment to the bylaws, and then thirdly, the Secretary of the board. Robert's Rules of Order apply to the conduct of our meetings. And so if I may, since this is the first time we've conducted an election during the course of a virtual meeting, I can just lay out just quickly the process we will follow. Nominations will be received from the floor for each of these positions. I'll open the floor for the nominations, and I would ask that each trustee who makes a nomination would first identify themselves just for the public record and for those keeping minutes. Then make your nominations. A nomination does not require a second. So we will receive the nomination for a particular position, beginning first with the President Pro Tem. I'll then ask for a roll call vote of each member of the Board of Trustees, and you will name the candidate for whom you are voting. And that's all the action that will need to be taken. And then we will repeat that process for each of the three positions. Election will be based upon a majority of those present and voting, since we have a declared quorum. If more than two are nominated for a position, the election will be again by a majority of those present. So if there were three candidates, I don't think we'll have that problem or issue, but should we, we'll have a runoff if no single candidate gets a majority of those voting. Are there any questions about the process of the procedure before we start? Hearing none, if I may open the floor for nominations for the position of President Pro Tem of the board. Are there any nominations?
This is Trustee Robinson. I'd like to resubmit Dr. Jerome Williams as President Pro Tem.
All right. And as I've indicated, that does not require a second. So Dr. Williams is nominated. Are there any other nominations for President Pro Tem? Any other nominations? Hearing none, is there a motion to close the nominations?
Move to
Motion to
close.
close.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any
We're gonna do a roll
opposed?
call vote, Rod.
I would simply say, may we by acclamation
Okay.
accept the nomination of Dr. Jerome Williams as President Pro Tem. Do I have a motion in that, to that effect?
Yes.
Trustee Williams, I motion.
All right,
Trustee Harper, second.
second, all in favor, aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, by acclamation, congratulations, Mr. President Pro Tem.
Thank you, sir.
With your permission, I will proceed with the balance of the election.
Please do.
All right. The nominations are now open for the position of Vice President Pro Tem. Are there any nominations?
Trustee John Hackett would like to speak. Make a
Please.
nomination, please.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Wayne Watts.
All right. Trustee Watts, his name has been nominated, and again, no need for a second. Are there any other nominations for the position of Vice President Pro Tem? Any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to close the nominations.
Motion to
Motion to
close.
close. Robinson.
Second. Trustee Harper.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 A motion to accept by acclamation Trustee Watts as Vice President Pro Tempore. Someone make that motion, please.
So moved. Harper.
Second Hackett.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, moving to the final officer position, that of Secretary of the Board. The nominations are now open. Are there any nominations for Secretary?
Williams, I nominate Chris Robinson.
All right, Trustee Robinson. Any other nominations? Hearing none, any motion to close the nominations?
Motion
Trustee
to
Ha-
close.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Likewise, a motion to accept by acclamation the nomination of Trustee Chris Robinson as Secretary.
I move that we accept by acclamation the nomination of Trustee Chris Robinson as Secretary.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Those are the elections for the specific positions of officer. And I would announce that the President Pro Tem elected is Dr. Jerome Williams, the Vice President Pro Tem, Dr. Wayne Watts, and the Secretary is Trustee Chris Robinson. The bylaws of the board also provide that the executive committee of the board shall consist of the President Pro Tem, the Vice President Pro Tem, the Secretary of the Board, and 2 members appointed by the President Pro Tem at the annual meeting with the consent of the board. And I would ask, Mr. President Pro Tem, do you have appointments for those positions to be submitted for consent to the board?
Yes, Counselor, Trustee Harper and Trustee Ball.
All right, you have heard the appointments by the president. Is there a motion on behalf of the board to consent to the appointment of these members?
Motion to consent the appointment.
Second by Trustee Hackett.
All right, the motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed by like sign? Okay, that concludes the elections and the action which the board is required to take at this point, Mr. President Pro Tem.
Thank you, Counselor. Thank you so very much. And I like to, at this point on the agenda, give the Pro Tem's report. First, I want to thank the members of the Board of Trustees for the confidence that they have in me by re-electing me as President Pro Tem. I attempt to do the best work that I can for the university, representing the board. And I know that you as trustees do that as well. And for the record, I want all of our constituents and others to know that I represent the very best board of trustees of any organization, of any university, of any foundation, of any other organization. I'm proud to be a member and a part of this esteemed team. Some time ago, I asked the administration to reimagine the Alabama A&M University of having all the resources that would make us an even greater university. I am happy with the result of that request. There were some 64 items that across the campus that stakeholders identified as things that would make this university move to the next level. This Reimagine campaign calls mental stimulation and the ability to move things forward. Those of us that understand how things are created, how they are done, we know that you must first see it right to set it right. If you can see it, then you can create it. But you must first see it. You must identify it and see it. This is the first step in moving this university forward to the next level on all those things that were not there when Trustee Ball was there, when Trustee Hackett was on campus and Trustee Gainey was there. We are moving toward a new day and a new university that will be transformed in a positive sense. I'm glad that the administration has endorsed and joined with the trustees in this Reimagine campaign. It'll be challenging, it'll be difficult, and we don't know how we're gonna obtain those resources that have been identified. They are somewhere between $500 and $750 million. Not small money, but we are not a small-minded university. We will achieve greatness at a level that has been unimaginable in the past. So trustees, please join with me in that campaign that you have helped ignite. And I know the administration of the university, personnel and staff and administrators will as well. Mr. President, thank you for your leadership and for providing the platform for this kind of initiative to be made. That concludes my comments from the position of President Pro Tem. And again, thank you, fellow trustees, for your confidence in me. We'll now move to the report of the president of the university.
Thank you very much, Dr. Williams. I first want to congratulate you as well as Trustee Watts and Trustee Robinson on your election. We certainly look forward to working with each of you, the executive committee, and all the members of the Board of Trustees as we continue to move Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University forward. You hear me often say that we have the very best students that exist anywhere in this nation. But to have the very best student means we have to also have the very best faculty, the very best staff, and we are fortunate to have the very best Board of Trustees. It is a delight working with each of you. And we certainly appreciate the vision that you have in terms of reimagining Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University. Be assured that the administration will provide all of the support necessary to facilitate this forward-looking vision that's going to transform Alabama A&M University. So again, thank you. I will give a more detailed report at our next Board of Trustees meeting.
Thank you, Mr. President. Report of committees. We'll review the mission statement, and it was presented to us at our committee meeting on yesterday, but we do need a motion to approve the mission statement.
Dr. Williams and members of the Board of Trustees, your bylaws provide that the executive committee shall review the mission of the university each year. At the subcommittee meeting on yesterday, the executive committee reviewed the mission statement of the university and concluded that it is still appropriate and that we shall continue to use that mission statement. It is now necessary that the board take action on that statement, on that motion.
That is correct.
Thank you, Mr. President and the counselor. Business and finance.
Someone
Yes,
needs to move the.
We need to move back on that motion.
So
Yeah,
moved, trustee Harper.
Second, trustee
Se-
Watt.
Okay, very good.
It's been moved and properly second. Is there any comments or any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion passes. Now we'll move ahead.
Yes, good morning. We have 2 action items for business and finance. Please note, members of the committee are trustees Watts, Hackett, Pickett, Cole, Trunkleton, and Williams. In order to walk through the 2 action items, I would like to ask Senior Vice President of Finance Administration, Mr. Clayton Gibson, to take us through those items. Mr. Gibson?
Thank you, ma'am. We have 2 items, and the first pertains to the line of credit facility. We've had a line of credit facility with Regions Bank going back to 2013, and each year it expires the end of October. So that was the first item discussed in subcommittee yesterday. And as a result of that, the motion is the administration recommends the board approve the resolution for the renewal of the line of credit facility with Regions Bank. To Chairman Williams.
You have heard the report of the business committee related to the line of credit renewal. Can I get a motion to approve?
Move to approve, Robinson.
Second,
Williams.
Hackett.
It's been moved and properly second. In a discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Gibson?
The second item discussed pertained to a proposed greenway, which would stretch across our campus and is an extension of a greenway that the city of Huntsville is attempting to put in place, stretching from Highway 72, and it would stretch across our campus, ending around Holloway Drive. And this is greenway, a walking trail, biking trail, and it would be constructed by the city of Huntsville, maintained by the city of Huntsville, but it brings recreation to our students, our community, and it's a great thing for North Huntsville. As such, the business and the administration recommends the approval of the proposed ground lease agreement with the city of Huntsville, which allows for construction of a public greenway on university-owned property, stretching from around Holloway Drive southward to Maston Lake Road.
You've heard the report of Vice President Gibson. Can I get a motion to approve?
This is Robinson, motion to approval of the Greenway.
Second.
Moved and properly second. Any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All
you,
in
ma'am.
favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Can I assume I've got a unanimous aye vote?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, yes.
yes.
The motion carries. Thank you. Trustee Harper?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. There are no informational items, so this concludes the report of business and finance.
Thank you. We'll move to academic affairs. Trustee Watts?
Yes, sir. Academic affairs, our committee consists of Trustee Pickett, Trustee Gainey, Trustee Hackett, and Trustee Jeanette Jones. We had a subcommittee meeting on yesterday, and there are actually 6 action items. And we would take those one at a time. The first action item is to request to delete the minor in family and financial planning.
A motion to approve the request.
I move that we approve the request to delete the minor in family and financial planning.
Second, Hackett.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion, any questions? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposes? Thank you, Trustee Watts.
Yes, the second request is to add a concentration in family and financial planning.
I move that we add a concentration in family and financial planning.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Our third request is to add a minor in entrepreneur for business majors only.
Trustee Gainey, I motion that we approve the minor in entrepreneurship for business majors only.
Trustee Harper, second.
It's been moved and properly second. Question? All in favor, aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. Our fourth request is to add an online MBA program.
I move that we add an online MBA program.
And
Second.
second.
Moving and properly second. Any questions? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, our fifth request, we went into detail on this on yesterday, is the memorandum of understanding between Alabama A&M University and Mississippi State University.
I move that we,
Go right ahead.
Johnson Cole, I move that we accept the memorandum or enter into a memorandum of understanding between Alabama A&M University and Mississippi.
Second, Robinson.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, and now final action item for this board meeting is in light of the pandemic and things that we're experiencing, we request to change the organizational charts to add an assistant vice president of distance and continuing education and an instructional technology.
Second, Trustee Hackett.
That a motion, Trustee Watts?
That is a motion.
It's been moved and properly second that we approve the organizational chart changes. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Williams. And I don't think we have any informational items. Is there anything further that needs to be discussed from this committee?
Report of the Faculty Senate President.
Right. Okay. At this time, we'll hear from from Trustee Jeanette Jones. Trustee Jones.
Unmute.
Okay. Good morning, trustees. Trustee Jerome Williams, members of the Alabama A&M Board of Trustees, President Hugani, and Provost Wims. On behalf of the more than 300 outstanding faculty who have been working very hard, teaching, advising students, writing grant proposals, and performing our civic responsibilities in the community, I am very pleased to submit our report, which is found in your board information box and on the screen. I'm just going to highlight a few things from that report. The Faculty Senate continues to meet with the president, the provost, and other university administrators to receive updates on university matters and to share our concerns. As we go through this pandemic with the expected upsurge in cases beginning this winter, we have listed the items of our greatest concerns: proper protection, classroom spacing, sick leave flexibility, and options for delivery of instruction. Additional concerns regarding cleaning and sanitizing the classrooms during and after usage were addressed yesterday by President Hugeni. We are very pleased that he has assured us that additional temperature scanning stations and sanitizing stations will be placed in strategic areas throughout the buildings. We are also hopeful that the excellent measures that have been put in place by Student Affairs will continue to hold down the number of coronavirus cases we have on campus as we look at what is predicted for the future, and as we look at what is happening or expected to happen in the next 6 or 8 months. So we're very pleased with what is going on our campus. Through the support of Academic Affairs, we are continuing to offer workshops to support faculty and staff in promotion and tenure, mentoring, work-life balance and stress management, gender equity, and professional development. Finally, the Faculty Senate and faculty and some department chairs have expressed concern regarding the efficacy and effectiveness of a couple of departments that have very large enrollments, and they offer several degree programs along with offering the general education courses. Now, for these departments, the faculty have expressed the desire to revisit the alignment and department structures, and we have discussed this with the provost for his consideration. So we'll be bringing that back to the table. This report is respectfully submitted by the new officers of the Faculty Senate after an election that was conducted for the 2020-21 school year. They are Dr. Alicia Moss, the Assistant Secretary, Dr. Tanya Davis, Secretary, Dr. Joshua Herring, Vice President, and Jeanette Jones, President. Thank you. That concludes my report, Trustee Watts.
Thank you, Trustee Jones. And as I've said on other occasions, please, please, please let the faculty members know how much we as a board appreciate their efforts. We know that many of them have other choices. We know that many of them don't have to produce at the level they are, but our universities, especially HBCU universities, will only thrive with those dedicated efforts. And also thank them for what they did in reimagining the forward movement of the university. Again, be sure to let the faculty know that this Board of Trustees appreciate them.
I will do so, President.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Williams, that finishes up academic affairs. There was one thing that I did forget to add, and that was the research part of what we discussed yesterday. There's so many great things going on at Alabama A&M University through our staff and the professors, and just at every level, the spirit of excellence is just, if you're not paying attention, it can actually be overwhelming. So the research aspect of what everyone does is important to not only to Alabama A&M, but it's important to this community. It's important to this world. And when you see the linkages between us and Mississippi State, and there are others that we have, that's just to expand the footprint of what the founder of this university started many, many years ago. So I would just like to thank the faculty and staff for on the research side as well. And we're going to make sure that we step up in terms of letting everyone be aware of what's going on at this university in terms of research as well as everything else with academic affairs. So with that, I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now we're going to pivot to one of your committees again. You and Trustee Williams on development, marketing, communication, and advancement. Trustee Williams, Trustee Watts.
Go ahead, Trustee Williams. Do you have something you want to say about that?
No, sir, we can just proceed.
Okay. There are no action items and there are no informational items at this time. So we'll continue to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, trustees. We'll move to the next thing on the agenda, athletics. Trustee Ball and Trustee Harper.
Yes,
morning,
good morning. Oh, go ahead, Trustee Ball.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
The committee members for the athletics committee is co-chair Ginger Harper and Trustees Gainey, Trustee Hackett, and Trustee Robinson. On today, we don't have any action items and no informational items at this time. However, does anyone from the committee or anyone else have any comments for the committee on today? If not,
Trustee Ball, I just want to remind our AD and our athletics program that we encourage them, we support them, and we like championship rings. Over.
Let the record so note.
absolutely.
AD Hicks, did you hear that? I need to make sure that for the record that you heard Trustee Robinson's comment.
Don't tell
I'm
me
sure
he
AD
dropped off.
Hicks is there. AD Hicks is present.
Yes, I heard indeed. I heard indeed.
Thank you, trustees. I think that,
Fair.
student affairs.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Robinson.
With the Student Affairs Committee convened on yesterday, and on that committee, we have Trustees Gainey, Ball, Pickett, Johnson Cole, and we have a new SGA president, which I'll let Dr. Crosby introduce him shortly. But trustees, we have one action item that we need to take care of, and that is to waive the ACT, SAT as part of the admissions process.
Trustee Robinson?
Yes, sir.
Would you, until the university makes a recommendation to reinstate it?
Until university makes a recommendation to reinstate it. We will, the action item is to waive the ACT, SAT as part of the admissions process until the university makes a recommendation to reinstate it.
Thank you.
That is a motion, sir.
Watts, second.
It's been moved and properly second that we waive the ACT for as stated on the screen. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. Also, Mr. Pro Tem, we received updates on the fall enrollment, student engagement, and student support services. We also received a briefing, a COVID-19 update from Dr. Letitia Elapre, who is the assistant professor in the Division of Infectious Diseases at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, who has been working side by side with Dr. Crosby and the task force. So at this moment, Dr. Crosby, do you have any additional comments? And then if not, I want you to introduce our new SGA president. Over.
Thank you, Trustee Robinson. I do have comments regarding COVID-19 later in the board meeting this morning. So at this time, I want to introduce the SGA president, Mr. Jaffe Jokes, a senior biology major from Chicago, Illinois. Jaffe is no stranger to student government. This is his third year, I believe. And I've had an opportunity to work with him in his previous capacity as Senator for Student Affairs. And so at this time, I'll yield to Trustee Jokes for an update on behalf of the Student Government Association.
Good morning, trustees.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Jaffe Jokes, a senior biology major from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm elated to serve as the SGA president for this school year. I would like to stand on the platform of creating your own legacy. And with that being said, my intention with that is, just to create a constructive and memorable school year for the students. And by that would be increasing student engagement, providing them with a enhanced cultural experience. And I strongly use the word enhance because I'm not trying to change the culture here, just adding on to it a little bit. And I would also like to increase the access to post-secondary prep materials for our students that are prepping themselves for the LSAT, the MCAT, or dentistry school, the GRE, or any of those major tests, whether that be partnering with companies like Kaplan or partnering with Princeton Review Preps or Magash, if you are familiar with them. So that would be something I'm definitely looking into. I've also wanted to let it be known that we will ensure that all these things are done by accordance to the CDC and the university regulations and guidelines as it pertains to COVID-19. We are making it our utmost priority to keep the students here safe, as well as enforcing masks and living by the saying, shield the heel. So with that, we are making sure, again, masks are mandatory at everything that we do. We are very aware of the obstacles that we have to face. And like I said, again, we are not stopping by any means necessary. I would also like to thank the Office of Student Activities, Leadership and Development, the Office of Student Affairs, and Dr. Brittany Holloman for their support during these times of trying to ensure that our students are enjoying their first years here in the midst of a pandemic again. So with that being said, the previous events that we've actually obtained, we've had our hands tied with the voters registration in collaboration with the AAMU Civic Engagement Committee by actually going down to Madison County Courthouse and registering our students on campus and actually helping them fill out their absentee ballot applications at the courthouse and voting. We've had 3 movie nights inside of the Luz Cruz Stadium, an Ox Court Wars, as you all see, a talent show, karaoke night, and we'll be ending it off with the concert that we are titling Rock the Vote with the artist of Key Glock. Now, before you all ask who that is, I too have no idea who Key Glock is, and I'm not ashamed to say that. But again, we are very aware that we are in the midst of a pandemic and we are taking every safety precaution possible, social distancing with seating arrangements and strictly enforcing masks. We are telling them shield the heel because that is exactly what we are trying to do. And for future plans as it pertains to building our students for leadership and development, we want to get our hands into the freshman academy and actually getting our Senate into the students' first year classes and allowing them to ask our senators any questions that they may have as first year students that sometimes our professors are not able to ask, and even just sharing our experiences with them so that they'll have somebody to go to as far as helping them transition from their freshman years and into their actual department, because that transition is very rough, speaking from experience. So if having somebody like us inside their classrooms would make it a little bit easier on them to transition. And I'd also like to continue on with the activity that we have and the program that we have, but I'd also like to incorporate getting more so of the student voices into the things that we have to help bring out the students to these events and ensure that we are actually providing them with what they want to see and what they want to attend. Again, the 2020-2021 SGA falls under the Jelk Strong administration, and we are tackling and addressing different things that we've never seen before. I stress the importance of us being in the midst of the pandemic because this is hard on all of us, and to be students in the midst of it, but not only just students, but to be student leaders is a whole nother ball game, and we are coming in hard and standing strong. So with that being said, shield the hill, and thank you all.
Thank you, trustee. Any other comments, Dr. Crosby?
Yes, I just want to publicly acknowledge Trustee Jelks as well as the students at Alabama A&M University for taking COVID-19 seriously. We laid out a robust plan for them this semester, and by all accounts, they've been very aggressive with following the plan that we currently have in place. And so I just want to go on record and say thank you to the student body for the work that they're doing to keep Alabama A&M University healthy and safe during a global pandemic. That concludes my comments at this time, Trustee Robinson.
Thank you, Dr. Crosby. Mr. President Pro Tem, this is not my area, but I'm not sure where this will fall, but we have a new alumni president, and I want to recognize, if I can, sir, Mary Jones Moore, who is the new elected Alumni Association president. So just want to recognize, go ahead.
Thank you, Trustee Robinson. President Moore, if you are on the line, if you'd like to have a comment, you certainly may.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I would just like to say I am more than happy and elated to serve the alumni of this great university. We are striving to be the best. And Dr. Williams, I'd like to say the Alabama A&M Alumni Association is the best organization. So I just want that to go on record. And we are going to take, as the alumni, we are going to try and take our university to the next level by working with the president and his administration and trying to garner partnerships with corporate America as well as our business community. And according to our mission statements, to garner students to the university as well as provide scholarships for them. So we're looking forward to working with you and the board as well as Dr. Hugini and the administration. So thank you. And so our motto is, let's get it done, Bulldogs. Thank you.
Thank you, President Moore.
Yeah.
And
so Trustee Williams, I just want to make a correction. It should be corrected that she's the elected national president of the Alabama A&M Alumni Association and distinguished alum and a Delta Delta alum.
Not Delta Delta, but I am a Delta, but yes, the greatest sorority in the whole wide world. Oh yes. You clearing your throat to say that?
Thank you, alums. And Trustee Robinson, thanks for bringing that to our attention. I appreciate that so very much. And President Moore, thank you for your comments. We look forward to working with you and the best alumni association that exists anywhere.
Thank you. There you go.
Trustee Robinson and Dr. Crosby, I want to commend you on your leadership and President Jelks for what he is doing in leading the student community in this pandemic environment. It's no small feat. And when you see in the news regularly what's happening at other colleges and universities, and you recognize the outstanding work that's been done at this university, and it's not an easy task. I can think back to those days, Trustee Watts, when we were on campuses and the challenges that occur in trying to do what is being asked of these students. And a tremendous job is being done. And the leadership is to be commended for that. Thank you, Trustee Robinson.
Well, sir, I just want to say thank you for pressing us and all the trustees. You know, when you get that call, that text message, and the President Pro Tem called me, you know you're about to get a list, and he's going to press you on it, and he's going to follow up. And so I appreciate you challenging us, challenging university, and staying on top of that, you know, trying to get us to the next level. So thank you again.
I just have one comment. I'd like to congratulate our new president of Student Government Association. He is a biology major. We are so proud of him. I'm in the midst of writing his letter of recommendation for medical school, and I have taken into consideration all of the comments that you're making. So if you have any others, please send them to me so I can write him a very strong letter of recommendation. So we'll see him off to medical school next year. Thank you.
And Trustee Jones, thank you for your leadership in this area. You know, being in the medical profession, we want to see many more in that pipeline. You're doing a tremendous job, but Trustee Watts, she's not doing quite enough, is she?
I'm sure she's getting there, but you know, she did an excellent job and with this young man and all his affiliations in various organizations.
All right, that concludes my report, sir.
Trustee Robinson, okay. But I just, you know, I appreciate everything that you're doing, Dr. Jones. Wonderful job and a great man there.
Thank you. Thank you. We're moving right ahead. I think we've been on your committee long enough, Trustee Robinson. So we're moving on to the next thing on the agenda.
Yes, sir.
Where are we?
Governance.
Governance.
Yes, Mr. President Pro Tem, we don't have anything. We don't have any action items at this time or any informational items. Thank you.
Thank you. The next thing, communication, appeals, and petitions.
Mr. President Pro Tem, just a reminder, again, as yesterday, you should have your conflict of interest letter from Ms. Ford, and the secretary, not secretary, the council needs that back like ASAP. Just a reminder on that.
Robinson. That would have come from Attorney Stakely's office and his assistant,
Alicia Ford.
Any old business?
I think we have the task force update.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, very good. Just a quick update regarding the university's COVID-19 status. The Student Affairs Subcommittee heard from Dr. Letitia Ellopre yesterday. And again, Dr. Ellopre is the board's COVID-19 consultant. She currently serves as the assistant professor in the Division of Infectious Diseases at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. And Dr. Ellopre has been very supportive in reviewing as well as recommending changes to the university's fall 2020 reentry plan. Just as a reminder, the plan included robust safety measures, masking requirements, socially distancing, moving all of our student engagement, student activities, student services in a virtual format, as well as mandatory entry testing prior to students arriving to campus or moving in to residential life and housing, as well as working with the state through the University of Alabama at Birmingham to roll out a daily passport to monitor and track symptoms related to COVID-19. The plan thus far is working, but there are some concerns in light of the trends that we're seeing across the state and nationally. Unfortunately, Dr. Ellopre could not join us this morning, but she asked me to impress upon the board and those in attendance that we need to be watchful regarding COVID-19 and just ensure that we're practicing all safety measures to, one, keep ourselves safe as well as our family members and those that we come into contact with on a daily basis. In the state, a majority of the state rather is considered orange or red as defined by the Harvard Global Health Institute model. Orange represents an accelerated spread, while red represents the tipping point. And as we all know, COVID-19 is increasing across the country and certainly here in the state of Alabama. Campus-wise, Dr. Swoop, if you can advance, please. Campus-wide, this is showing our COVID tests as well as trends since students returned on August 10th with the closing of October the 18th. The highest number of cases on the campus of Alabama A&M University occurred during the week of August 31st through September the 6th. We had 32 cases, and if you follow that yellow line, you'll see the dip in cases across the campus. Although our cases are relatively low, we do know that 1 or 2 positive infections on campus can certainly spread to several dozen more. As something that I want to point out with our total number of cases from August 19th through October the 18th, we've had 119 positive cases, which is inclusive of students living on campus, students living in the community, and faculty and staff infections. But we've tested north of 1,000 individuals thus far. Dr. Swoop, if you can advance, please. Dr. Elapre also recommended mediation strategies. She certainly complimented the university on our robust contact tracing, as well as the partnership that we currently have with the state to offer signal testing for asymptomatic students. Currently, the state is testing 2.5% of our overall population, which includes students, faculty, and staff. But over the last week, the university began mass testing of all of our students. We want to be mindful before students leave for the Thanksgiving break that we don't send students into the community positive for COVID-19. So Monday, they tested students in Foster Complex, over 400 students, all came back negative. They tested 400 students, over 400 students yesterday in another facility. And so they've been very aggressive about this mass testing on our campus so that we can isolate any positive cases before students leave for the holiday break. We're also going to make campus-wide for students, faculty, and staff, the flu shot accessible. We certainly, want to get a handle on the flu since we cannot control the path of COVID-19. And so working with the Student Health and Counseling Center under the leadership of Carkesta Slay and Dr. Michael Johnson to make the flu shot accessible to our campus population over the next week or so. As you can imagine, there is a significant push and request for the vaccine. And so it's just a matter of us receiving that here at the university. As we plan for the spring semester, we're looking at mandating testing for students to re-enter for the spring semester in light of them having an extended break from campus. And we feel with that testing, we'll get a great turnout and great results and data to track how many more of our students test positive for COVID-19. And again, give us an opportunity to isolate or quarantine students in close contact with positive cases prior to introducing them to the general population here on campus. That will protect our faculty, our staff, as well as other students across the campus. And so we're very focused on that particular initiative, as well as reviewing and assessing our ongoing safety measures that we have in place to reduce the spread of COVID-19 on campus. Although we have a COVID-19 response task force, this is a collaborative initiative representing not just individuals from student affairs, but academic affairs, business and finance, as well as our consultant, as well as community members to really reduce the spread of COVID-19 on the campus of Alabama A&M University. And we've done a great job thus far, and we'll certainly move forward with sharing with our family members, as well as parents and community, the great things that we're doing to reduce the spread of COVID-19 on campus. And that concludes my updates regarding COVID-19 fall 2020. Muted.
Thank you, Dr. Crosby. Do any of the trustees have any questions or comments to Dr. Crosby as relates to the report he just gave? And I certainly want to commend you and your task force for the work that you're doing. It's not an easy task. It's quite challenging, but you're providing the resources, I think, that are necessary to keep the campus as safe as reasonably possible. You know, I had some concerns about us reopening because I know the danger of this virus, the challenges that it presents. But the administration, Mr. President, has to that challenge and done an outstanding job of mitigation. Any further comments for Dr. Crosby?
Great job on the communication to be able to drive home the communication with COVID and faculty. You've done an incredible job, Dr. Crosby.
Thank you. We'll move forward to the next item on business. If there's no additional old business, a new business, as you see on your screen, the Board of Trustees Subcommittee and formal meetings for February 18, 19 are set for February 2021 are set for 18th and 19th of February. Further, if those dates are not acceptable, then the executive committee will choose a different date. I believe we need a motion to approve this new business.
Motion to approve, Harper.
Can I get a second?
Second, Johnson Cole.
It's a moved and properly second that our meeting will be scheduled for February 18th and 19th of 2021, subject to conditions at that time. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. I don't believe that we have the need for an executive session, but certainly any member can move to go into executive session if they choose. Is there any communication or concerns related to executive session? Thank you. When I identified the members, the alumni of A&M that's on the executive committee, I failed to identify Trustee Pickett. As I identified Trustee Hackett, Ball, and Gainey, I failed to, and Trustee Pickett, we appreciate your contribution as well. And you and the rest of the alumni on this board will help lead that transformational effort so that 20 years from now or a certain number of years from now, you will see a transformed university. Mr. President, thank you for your leadership.
Welcome,
and
sir.
for your administration. I also want to acknowledge the outstanding work done by Dr. Swoop and Attorney Debro in the control room to make this thing happen. They've got skills and talents that I was not aware of earlier. I have to take you to the TV station with me when I go and put you in the control room. Is there any further business that should come before this meeting? If not, could we get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you so very much.
Please
Be
don't
safe.
stand up until you exit.
Trustee Cole.
Hey,
We've
Let me
already
crawl
paid
out of here.
Leave before you
Bye, guys.